It's Lisa the Creator, and I'm live again. And I wasn't gonna go live, but today, again, but I was just playing around in makeup today because I freed up some time. And I don't really make a habit of wearing a lot of makeup because if you don't allow your skin to breathe, you can clog up your pores. And if I feel that if you wear too much makeup, you forget what your bare face looks like and you tend to develop an over dependence on makeup. And I think that as a culture, generation Z and millennials, and there tends to be an overlap because we're both heavily on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and social outlets. We tend to want to have our face beat for the gods. Those of us who are heavily indoctrinated with social media culture. And I think it's healthy to take detoxes from makeup. So I try not to rely on makeup so much. That being said, and I think that's a perfect segue into the point of the video, which I wanted to talk about my black being beautiful. And that being said, when I first started on social media, when I first came back on social media, I was trolled a lot for my appearance. And people came for my nostrils, saying that they were too big and um, trying to say they were too wide for a woman, suggesting that I look like a man or that I was a man or coming for my gender. And I have a black person's nose. Not every black person has a dainty, small nose. And I just think that's very featurist and colorist. And that's rooted, especially when it comes from black people, in a lot of self hate. And that can be traced back to Willie Lynch. And Willie Lynch was a slave owner, and he wrote letters to slave owners to try to separate slaves, and he pointed out the differences in slaves, and he pointed out in order to create division between slaves, he pointed out the differences between light-skinned slaves and blacks and dark-skinned slaves, and in order to separate them, if the objectives were to get inside their head, keep them physically strong, but to get inside their mind. So it was to attack their mental health by um, insinuating that their physical differences made the light skinned slaves superior to the dark skinned slaves, and by the light skinned slaves looking closer to the European slaves, the light skinned slaves were better looking in the eyes of the European slave owners and massa because their appearance was closer to the slave owner, and the dark skinned slaves looking closer to the slaves and closer to the people in the diaspora were uglier and less acceptable because they looked more like massa. So, in turn, people who look less European are, in essence, supposed to hate themselves. And that can be evidenced by mainstream media and what is promoted. I don't subscribe to that mentality. There are people who buy into that. I don't. People are entitled to their personal opinion and their personal preference. I can't make people believe that I'm attractive. Hi, Pa Jock. How are you? Thank you for the kisses and the bathing suit. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. I can't dictate what people believe to be attractive, but a person can only make you feel inferior with your consent. Inferiority is only it's only a function of how you feel about yourself. So if you feel that you're inferior, well, guess what? You are. So if you believe you're ugly, then guess what? You are. You're If you allow others to define you, then that's what you are. I don't subscribe to what mainstream media says that black people are supposed to look like. I never bought into good hair is straight hair. Good hair is supposed to look like massa. I believe good hair is healthy hair. Good hair is hair that you take care of. So the whole good hair is straight hair. Good hair is permed hair. Good hair is fine hair. I think that's the stupidest expression I ever heard of in my life. When people say that, they sound stupid, in my opinion. I just shake my head every time people say that around me. That's just my personal opinion. Everybody's entitled to how they think. But if you've been indoctrinated with that mentality your whole life and that's what you grew up around, it's very hard to think differently and believe differently. And um if European mentality is ingrained in you, and especially if that's what you were socialized to believe in the South and that's rooted in you, you weren't exposed to different. So that's what you choose to believe. I was brought up in a household where all black is beautiful. So I don't know any different, and I wasn't exposed to different. I wasn't brought up with all that featurist, colorist, and texturist stuff. So I didn't grow up with you had to have a bust down, aka 40-inch weave down your back to be attractive. So I can't subscribe to that. And the men in my family always thought weave looked ridiculous. So I never, well, I can't say I never wore it because my mom never believed in combing hair. She never wanted to be involved in that. So that was kind of forced for me to wear it. I always thought it looked ridiculous. My uncle never liked it. He always told me it was never me. I agreed. And when I got grown, I cut all the perm out of my hair. When I was 18, I vowed never to wear a weave again, and I have never felt more free and prettier in my life and have never looked back. And I have dreadlocks, and I have never put a track or wigs or any of that other mess in my head again, and I don't plan to. And that's just my personal preference. I can't speak for everybody else. I don't know what but those bananas are. I hope that's not anything derogatory. But I'm not going to assume. I'm going to go on with content. So, I remember Girlfriends, and I remember the character Tony Childs, and I remember her being the darkest of the characters in Girlfriends. The actress's name was Jill Marie Jones, and she had the broadest of features. Her nose was the broadest and her lips were the biggest. But in my opinion, she was the most attractive out of all of the cast members, but they made her character have the most issues. And I, for one, I just, for the life of me, I just could never quite grasp why they wrote it so that a character that was dark skinned had to have all of those complexes. I would have liked to have seen a dark skinned character on screen loving themselves, being comfortable in their own skin. Why necessarily did she have to have such a complex about who she was? Why couldn't she love the skin she was in and stand in who she was? Because I don't desire to look like anybody else. I don't desire to be anybody else. I've never been in competition with a lighter complexion woman. I've never envied any other woman. I've never felt like I was undesirable by being a darker skinned woman. I've never felt that way. I just don't have those feelings. So, on that note, I just can't relate to that. And when Danny Lay came out with that song, Red Bone is what he want, I just, for one, I wasn't even insulted by that because I just found it to be amusing. I was just like the audacity for that because I find it to be laughable because I just consider myself it's giving main character because light, bright, damn near white, dark skin, medium complexion. I don't care what a woman is. I'm not in competition with any woman on earth. I don't care if the woman looks like Doechii. I don't care if the woman looks like Janet Jackson. I don't care what a woman looks like, what kind of car she drives. I don't care who the woman is. what her stature is. I'm me. I know what I bring to the table. No woman on this earth has what kind of sauce I have. Thank you, Mr. Urban World. How are you? Yes, I do. I'm back. I rebranded. How are you, Mr. Urban World? You remember me? I appreciate you. I rebranded. I hope you have a good lunch. I'm about to have lunch as soon as I finish streaming. I'm going to be on here doing Bible study. Later on, my perspective has changed on a lot of things. I wanted to expand topics, so I just felt like a name change and a rebrand was necessary. And thank you for remembering me all those years ago. That is very flattering, Mr. Underworld, because Stan Twitter doesn't know. They just assume I'm new and didn't have an audience before Nicki Minaj. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me my tens. Um I really appreciate those of you who engage because I'm not, y'all are not obligated to come on here. Y'all owe me nothing. It's humbling to come on here and see y'all's lovely faces and to get positive comments from y'all. I love y'all down. And one subscriber, one commenter, no matter how many of y'all, I don't care if it's just one of y'all in here. One of y'all, two of y'all, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that any of y'all are stepping for me, that means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are some gremlins in a good way. I love y'all down. Thank y'all so much. I have some surprises cooked up for y'all. I hope y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. I rebranded. I'm back like I never left. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Just know I never left. I had to figure out as I got older how to navigate things because perspectives change as you grow older and mature, and I wanted to come correct with my audience. So I had my lunch in front of me and I wanted to get my grub on. Y'all be safe and take care. And I just wanted my black queens, no matter what complexion you all you all are. I just wanted you to know that at the end of the day, no matter what complexion you all are black queens. Light skin, medium complexion, dark skin. Let's end this war between light skin and dark skin. We're all sisters. You know, we're black women. The struggle is the same, even though society may give special allowances to lighter complexion sisters in some regards. Behind closed doors, they may still get called the N word. They may still face racism and prejudice to a certain degree. It so you may feel that you may get denied entry to a club because you're dark skinned or you may get overlooked for a movie role, or you may get passed up for a job or video casting. But at the end of the day, you're still a sister. You're still black. So you're in the struggle together. So let's dead this. As sisters, let's come together and let's not be in competition with one another, and let's come together as a community. Let's not, because it's petty with this argument in 2024. And brothers, my kings, I'm not talking to the pookies and Ray Rays. Let's not pit light skins and dark skins against each other, saying one is better than the other, and one looks better, and the Danny Lays of the world. I'd rather procreate with the Evelyn Lazadas because one looks better, etc., and no dark butts, etc., because it screams self-hate, especially when you don't look like that, your mama don't look like that, and your grandma don't look like that. It's giving, I need therapy. Kodak Black, ASAP Rocky. I said what I said, and you're not going to check me because you know it's true. And you intentionally skip over dark skinned women and go for lighter skinned women to avoid that gaping hole inside of yourself that hates what you see in the mirror. When there are beautiful Doechis in the world, Coco Jones in the world, what are you so afraid of? Thank you, AO. But I'm just saying it for the women who don't know that they're beautiful, for the women who are hurt because they can't get into a club, but they see women who they feel that they are just as beautiful as, and they are passed up for opportunities, and they may have a beautiful voice, just as much talent, and can't get their foot through the door. And the only reason they're looked over is because they're dark skinned. I'm just advocating for them. I don't have the hang up. I'm just bringing light to things that happen every day. Thank you, AO. Love y'all down. Take care. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Lisa the Creator. Love y'all, airbenders. If y'all are down with me, just say end colorism, featureism, and let's have some collective energy and have some love for the black community as a whole. Let's end the legacy of Willie Lynch as a whole in this community. It's ridiculous, because that means that slave owners won. Every time y'all talk about somebody's features, 4B versus 4C, every time a light-skinned sister talks about a dark-skinned sister, or a dark-skinned sister goes in on a light-skinned sister, or a dark-skinned brother says to a light-skinned brother, you're acting light-skinned, or somebody makes a remark to a brother about, you're so dark the oil light comes on, Willie Lynch has won. It's stupid and it's very childish. So let's stop it. We need healing. And conversations like this need to be brought to the forefront. Less foolishness and more healing and more love. That's all I'm saying. Airbenders, head airbender in charge. Add a crystal ball and a star to the in the chat. That's my symbol for my fans. Love y'all. Take care. God bless. If any of y'all missed it, it'll be up for the replay game. Love y'all down. Bye.